Okay, welcome back to part 3 of this video game nightmare. Let's have a quick update to see how things are going. The weather outside is currently nice. I could be outside having fun, but instead I am here, playing a 10-year-old video game. Crispy Bacon is roughly 40% through the trophy list. His hopes are high, but I'm sure those will be crushed in short order. I start today's festivities as a werewolf, killing and slaying in search of some plans that I have been tasked to steal. I race through the fortress, leaving death and destruction in my wake as I deal with the local inhabitants in the most humane way as possible. After discovering that I can eat human hearts to increase my werewolf powers, I throw my humanity aside and go into a rabid frenzy. Things go pretty good, until I discover the glaring problem with being a werewolf, the lack of an opposable thumb. I wait a few hours and turn back into a boring anthropomorphic cat person, unlock the door, and promptly get the thief trophy. Inside the tower I engage the chief in epic combat, then suddenly find myself glued to the wall, and I frantically hack and slash and barely escape with my life. I steal the plans and throw on some sweet armor. I'm now a werewolf cat, wearing bear armor. I return the plans to my mistress and muse Ayla, get sent on another quest, steal some cabbages, kill a few vampires, and discover that I also need thumbs to open chests. Ugh, come on. I find the fragments of something or another and return to the Brotherhood for my reward. My reward turns out to be a meeting with Senior Whitemane, and he drones on about the origin of the curse. Apparently he doesn't like being a werewolf and wants to lift the curse. I can't say that I share this sentiment. Of course, there is only one possible way to lift the curse, and that is by slaying a bunch of witches that live in a cave. Ugh! Kill it with fire. Whitemane only needed one head, but I can't allow these abominations to live. I return with my sack of severed heads, but it turns out that the silver hands have attacked, and the old dude is dead. Oh no, this is terrible. So who wants to buy these severed heads? Farkas decided we need to find the last piece of an axe, so we trek through a winter wonderland and battle a random dragon. We discover a bandit stronghold, and I watch as Farkas glitches out, and then turn into a werewolf. I slay everything inside, then discover I also need thumbs to pick up a piece of an axe. Seriously, what does this game have about thumbs? I wait a short 5 hours, grab the piece, and run back to Whiterun. I go back to my house to store some junk, and discover that my ward is squatting in my house. Oh sure, just make yourself at home. The least you could do is help with the utilities. The Brotherhood throws a tearful funeral for the late old dude, and they call for a meeting in the secret werewolf cave, which I attend, right after raiding the dead guy's room. What? He doesn't need any of this anymore. The Brotherhood decides that we need to lift the werewolf curse from the dead guy, somehow, and I get a sweet axe as a reward, and we head off for some guy's tomb. It turns out the axe is a key, but also an axe. Inside the tomb we fight ghosts and spirits, and discover that Farkas is scared of spiders. I don't really blame him. We find the dead guy's spirit, and I throw a severed head in a bonfire, and he vomits out a wolf spirit, which we promptly slay for a trophy. I'm taking this. I convince the gatekeeper to let me into the Winterhold College, and I go back to school. I meet one of the professors, and I get to see my dorm room and get a school uniform. These robes suck. As a bonus, I get to attend my first college class, and immediately begin to think that college isn't for me. We go on a field trip to an archaeological dig. I battle a horde of undead, and play Ring Around the Rosie with a Death Lord. We discover a floating orb, fight a zombie mage and his pet popsicle monster, and find a word of power. Back at the college, I am sent to find some missing books. I kick a spirit wolf in the face and fight Emperor Palpatine's wife. After the battle, I relax with some light reading, listen to this guy drone on about something, and discover a big blue orb that lives in the college basement. We need to deal with this big blue ball, so I travel to a dwarf stronghold. There I encounter the greatest death animation in video game history.
Find apparatus in oculory.
I explore deeper into the cave, battle goblins, spiders, robots, and engage in everyone's favorite activity, mining. All in all, the dungeons seem subpar, until I stumble onto Optimus Prime. I save a mage, complete the most annoying puzzle ever, and race back to the college just in time to watch Arcano kill the college dean. I find his corpse lying in a very undignified position outside the building, and immediately get stuck while trying to search the body. I thought I was stuck, and debated loading a previous save, but it turns out I just had to talk to this lady, and everything worked out fine.
For this? The Archmage? Dead?
Seriously? You can't find him? He's right there! I nab a trophy, then must battle a host of spirits that have invaded the local town. Describing this fight as annoying would be a colossal understatement. The lengthy fight that ensued was as exciting as watching a man fight air. I flailed with my axe for over 10 minutes, tried using magic fire, and switched to my sword, and even tried cursing and screaming at the television for good measure. Finally, my perseverance paid off and the spirits were dead, and I began the Staff of Magnus quest. I arrive at the dungeon, am greeted by a panel of ghosts that provide the Staff of Magnus backstory, which I quickly ignore, and I plunge in, and battle a skeletal dragon and a horde of the undead.
Skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight.
Skulls for the Skull Throne. As I descend deeper into the abyss, I battle zombies, trolls, a banshee, and collect more skulls for the Skull Throne. Why does this entertain me? I'm such a child! I find where the main bad guy is being held in place by a few spirits. I promptly stab them in the back so that I can fight the Dragon Priest. I'm assuming the fight was supposed to be more of a challenge, but the guy glitched out and stood there and took his beating like a scrub. With the staff in hand and a mask that makes me look like a sad turtle, I race back to the college, obliterate Arcano, and get the Eye of Magnus trophy. After being promoted to Archmage, I travel around Skyrim wrapping up a few quests, and discover an impossibly long line of guards heading to a tiny shack. I decide to join the rebellion, but must prove my worth by performing iceberg parkour, magnetically binding a plate to my legs, and watching a man's hands melt into a table. I get the Taking Sides trophy, steal an ancient crown from Mr. Stormcloak, promptly wear said crown, and deliver an axe to Whiterun, demanding that the Jarl join us in the rebellion. He refuses, which by ancient law means we get to burn down his city and destroy everything that he loves. We invade Whiterun, force the Jarl to surrender, and now it's just a short hop and a skip back to the Stormcloaks to get that spicy trophy. Trophy? You gonna activate trophy? It turns out I have run into a bug, and the game still thinks that the Battle of Whiterun is ongoing, and therefore won't give me the dialogue prompts to end the quest. I quickly scour the internet and try every possible means by which to force the game to get its shit together. I went outside and waited a few hours, went back to my house in Whiterun and slept in my bed, went back to the Jarl and tried to go through every single dialogue option, tried to interact with every single map that I could find, tried restarting the game, tried leveling up. I even tried to threaten my PlayStation with physical violence, but Skyrim would not be bowed. I have been hit with a cold shock of reality. With this bug, I am not able to complete the Rebellion storyline, and thus get the last few trophies. I now have two options. I can either go back to a previous save before the Battle of Whiterun, or I can continue on with the game and pray that Skyrim pulls its head out of its ass and corrects the glitch. Considering that I am so far into the game and am losing hope in being able to complete this challenge, I plow ahead and put my faith in the machine spirit and assume that things will just work themselves out. This video is now over, and we need to take stock of our current situation. We are currently sitting at 26 trophies, 22 hours of gameplay, and a bug that has put the entire challenge in jeopardy. I'm not sure how the next section of the game will fare, but things couldn't possibly get any worse. Right? The Brotherhood throws a tearful funeral for a late... Bleh. Describing this fight as annoying would be a colossal understatement. The lengthy... I slay everything inside, then discover I also need thumbs to pick up a piece of an axe. Seriously. Okay, I'm ready. And they call for a meeting in the secret wolf cave, which I attend, right after raiding the dead guy's room. What he didn't get... Fuck.